That's what it looks like, right? And then I come back down. Back and forth, right? You can break it down. I would bridge first, bridge, bridge, bridge. Bridge so your knees go back down. Circle rock. Technical bridge. Glute bridge, you got it. You're going to use it. You practice glute bridge, but that's not technical really, right? And then the last one, most Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teachers will say this is the most important movement in Jiu-Jitsu. It's Ebi, the shrimp, looks like a shrimp, how they squiggle sideways, or we just call it the hip move. And there's lots of variations. We're going to do the most common, like the foundational one, right? So a hip move is moving your hips. I have the same base. One foot goes off the ground a couple inches. Exact same idea. I roll onto my side on the lifted leg. And when I'm all the way here, my hips go light. I extend the support leg and I move my hips back 90 degrees. So I'm in an L, like a 90-degree angle. My hips are the same height as my head. And then I pull back to the start. That's it. When you are here, it's also very important your top shoulder is oriented down, not here. You'll get pinned again. You'll see later. So your top shoulder turns toward the ground. Foot off the mat. Guys, it's not lifting here like a one-leg bridge and trying to push. That's not efficient, especially if somebody's sitting on you. So foot comes up, elbows in, I rock, I crunch forward onto my shoulder, and my butt will almost naturally go off the ground, right? Then I extend my leg, and I pull my top shoulder down, elbows in. This leg's straight, this is obviously bent. A little so bent, I pull it back. Foot off the mat, crunch onto the shoulder, extend your hip, top shoulder down, and I come back. This is more technical than it looks, but you got this one has to be mastered. You cannot be good at jiu-jitsu or judo unless you can do this. It's in like I can't think of how it takes where some versions is not involved, right? So the Brazilians call it hip escape because you're moving your hips out from under people, kind of thing, right? So shoot on your back, feet close to your butt, shoulder width, head off the mat, elbows are in. Lift your right foot 2 inches off the ground. Roll onto your right shoulder and do an out crunch. Keep crunching and your hips will come off the ground. Straighten your left leg. Push your hips back as far as you can. Ideally parallel with your head. Your left shoulder's crunch down towards the mat. Your left foot's still on the mat. Use your left foot. Your glutes pull you back. Push your foot in. Should be right where you started. Right? Left foot 2 inches off the mat. Crunch onto your left shoulder until your hips leave the mat. Then extend your right leg. Just throw your hips down. Right shoulder down. Right foot still on the mat. Use your right foot. Pull with your heel. Pull yourself back where you started. Right foot off the mat. Crunch to the right shoulder. When the hip comes up, extend your leg. Hips go parallel with the head. Left foot pulls you back. Push your right foot down. Left foot off the mat. Crunch to, remember guys, crunch forward towards your hips. Onto your shoulder, extend, right shoulder down, pull back. Okay? Try it a couple times on your own. This will also, of course, work your core and your hips. And your leg. And then come all the way down. Yes. Orient your top shoulder down. Elbows in close, guys. Always elbows in. Pull back. Yeah, not bad, not bad. These are done in the dozens to, I don't know, hundreds of hip moves. You got to do a lot of hip moving, different kinds. This is super good.
So if I kind of knock down, as long as the force line through my hands, I can use the legs, it's the force line through the hands.
Okay, guys, got the idea? So you will often see this. You can do it traveling. You do it down the mat, right? Like you can shroom move, and you kind of move down the mat. Very common. We use this version first because when you're escaping, you pull back to your guard. Yeah. So you'll notice, I'm either going to get to my knees and get up, or I'm going to get to my guard and kick and get up. The technical, right? So I'll do 2 ways to get up in the basics. Right? And there's fancy ways to do wrestling, but that's it. If I get to my knees, I get up, or I get back to my guard, I kick the guy, I technical rise, go back to phase one, right? Anytime you're not on top of me, I'm on my back, I'm in phase one again. I just kick the guy out. So those are the big three. Circle rock, right? Bridging, especially technical bridge, and the hip move. Those are the three you gotta have. Okay, any questions? No? You guys all right? There's a lot. You haven't done it, I understand. Okay, now, things went like way wrong. You went to the ground and you're losing, right? You're in the worst possible kind of position. The worst of the worst is generally going to happen is top now. Like I said, it's genetic. We all sat on somebody else's chest when we were kids and maybe hurt. It's just genetic. Nobody had to teach us even. And this is a horrible position, right? So who hasn't done any ground fighting? Here, come here, please. So I'm not picking on Joe. This is just so you get a feeling, and now lay down because of your back. And then once you've gone through the basics, it's a night and day difference. Like we have an hour and a half left. You're going to be 1,000% safer in an hour and a half than you are right now. But this is kind of why this is bad, especially if you don't know what to do. The guy mounts you, right? So he's on top like this. I can use my whole body weight to punch Joe in the face. Punch him in the face, please. Can't. So you can't box. So this is lesson one. You can't box from here. I've seen the new, somehow after the UFCs, the Kung Fu ground fighting. It's ridiculous. I trapped him, you'll die. He's going to be doing this, dropping elbows, and you can't hit him back, right? Or he's going to trap your arm, he's going to whatever. So this is why it's dangerous. I can take anybody that doesn't know anything about ground fighting and set them on top of someone else that doesn't know any ground fighting. He'll win. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much technique. So when I have this position, and you're going to try to get out, right? Like, what are you going to do? Like, what's a natural reaction? It's very right. It's hard to ride. You got to understand like the dynamics first and what you do first. But think about this, guys. What he needs to do first is stop. What do you do first? You escape. You survive, right? You base. But what's the overall purpose? You survive here. He can't get out immediately. You need to stop. I'm not going to kick you. I'm going to punch you in the elbow, right? So if you bring your elbows here, right? Bring your feet close. Do a glute bridge this way. Keep it up. Keep the bridge up. I can't punch you right away because I have to put my weight in my hands. Right? That's the first step. As long as you can hold your glute bridge up, I might try to punch the top of the guy, but I can't hit him. Not alone. You right? We'll save you from getting pulled. If you lay there and do what most people do, like this, and you just keep getting hit. Right? So the first thing we do is that. Why? It puts the weight in the hands. You have to be able to keep the bridge up. I do that, and I go, oh, my ass is tired. And you sit back up, and you start sitting back in. So why did everybody go, that glute bridge? I know how to do that. You got to be able to hold this position for at least a minute. It's not much harder to do with someone sitting on you than by yourself. Why? When he lifts his hips, I have to put my hands down, I'm going to fall off. 80 or more % of my body weight is in my hands, not on him. So I weigh 150 pounds or 55 pounds. 30 pounds is on his hips now. You can hold 30 pounds for all day if you're in good shape, right? So it's not about, I have to be able to hold this, like the guys who do the hip thrusts with the giant barbells. It's not. The weight goes into the hands. I have very little weight here, as long as I keep it up. So this is number one. That's why I do glute bridge. Survival is just doing this first. Now, there's a couple of points. And this is what we're going to do first. If they get well, they probably have to learn grapple, but if they bring their knees in your armpits and they're not sitting on your hips, the bridge doesn't work. You know what I mean? Right? Here, so if he mounts me, and he gets lucky or he knows jiu-jitsu, and he brings his knees up right in my armpits, I can't bridge him up because he's not on my hips. So what do I do first? We're going to start with worst case scenario. We can sit down here, right? When his knees are high, two things. I don't want elbow separation from my body. This is dangerous for my arm. They attack my arms. And I need to make it fulcrum so he's on my hips. I cannot pull him off with strength. I put both hands on his belt buckle and I push. He's not going to go anywhere. I'm just locking my arms. And it's like when you fall. Well, nobody does it anymore. But back in our day, we changed the oil in our car. Right? You laid on a big long skateboard. You didn't pull the car off. You pulled yourself out from under the car. So he's heavy here. My hands are here. I shoulder walk back, and I drop my elbows in that, sit up, right? And everyone goes, Tim will punch me in the face. He will punch you in the face anyway. You got to take him for the team, maybe. You got to get here. Now he's on my hips, right? I make this wedge and I bridge. Now he wants to sit up and punch me. He can't. If he does that, look, it's that easy. If he shifts his weight, I'll just push him off. You have to have your elbows on your ribs in front of their legs. That's critical. Now, if you get knocked down and he's jumping on top, this is the mistake. Fighting from the bottom. What you should be doing is this, so he can't get his knees up. Then you can immediately bridge, right? So some of it's counterintuitive. But this is a huge point. Elbows here. If they're not, you've got to get him there. You will not have enough leverage if he's up here. Doesn't matter if you're a professional jiu-jitsu expert. You can't make leverage. So I put my force into making that frame, and then I just bridge. I don't care how big he is, what he's doing now, right? So, drill number one, you're going to mount your partner with your knees in the armpits. You can bridge all day. It's not doing anything because he's up here, right? Hands on the belt buckle. We always like the belt knot for the guys in the gi, right? You push, don't expect him to move. I'm just taking the slack out. Then, like you're a commando, you go like shoulder lock. You just wiggle your shoulders. You will move back. And I keep pushing him so he can't follow me, right? Then I drop my elbows inside his knees here. And then I'm going to bridge and I'll put his hands down. That's the first pattern. All right? Okay, give it a try. Never let them get their knees in your armpits.